Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of
The English Couple.
Well, Julia.
Well, Richard.
Well, lovely viewers.
Well, lovely viewers.
You may have guessed something has arrived.
And we're very excited about it.
We bought a tractor. No. Yeah.
No.
Well, we need a tractor. You know how we've been lumbering stuff up by hand in wheelbarrows and all that sort of stuff, and it's knackering. And on 2.5 acres, you know, that's a lot of journeys to move stuff. And if we've got things like compost, we've got gravel, we've got deliveries of all sorts, we need something with power.
And here's our girl.
And Julia had the first inaugural journey up the little track, which we can't get the van up.
No, but the tractor comes up. Thank you for that, by the way.
No, that's a pleasure. What was it like?
Wonderful. It was amazing.
So it's a 1954 Fordson Major, and we bought it for some money. And
as one does.
We bought it from one guy and his mate, who there's an interesting history.
Yes, it was found in a hedge, and he and his mate hauled it out. They bought it, hauled it out of said hedge. And it was just a chassis. We were shown a photograph of it. It was just a chassis and some bits and bobs, really.
We haven't got a photo to show you, but I mean, most of it was just the chassis, and they've, over 4 years or so, they've lovingly restored it.
Yeah.
And
it was just used to pull a living wagon.
Which is a sort of space where you can, in the old days, you could, a bit like a shepherd's hut, but a bit bigger and on bigger wheels and a lot heavier.
Yes.
And so people would live in that.
Very lovely too.
And we did look at...
She'd not outgrown. The job had outgrown her, so...
Yes, they didn't really need her anymore.
No.
We looked at other tractors, and there were some very nice ones. Of course, originally we were thinking about a little grey Fergie, weren't we?
We did have our hearts set that way,
But we were persuaded by friends of ours, Mark Byford, the bowler hat farmer being one, saying you might need something with just a bit more horsepower, and this really fits the bill. So we're
and she's cute to boot.
And she's cute to boot.
That was nothing to do with it, honestly.
No, it's a huge learning curve for us, but I think that the principal thing that made me part with the money, and that's a considerable investment for this piece of land, was the fact that they had lovingly restored it. So they knew it from the word go. We weren't buying it from a dealer.
No.
And it wasn't just passing through their hands and, you know, the history not known. And the great thing is, we spoke to the young chap and said, look, if we have any servicing or need to change some parts, because you know it, we'll pay you, but would you be prepared to come along and do it? Because they know it backwards.
Yeah.
And he was quite happy to do that. So,
as they're very emotionally invested in the thing.
And we'll send them pictures.
Yes.
Of
some nice artistic shots of her in her new home, being loved and doing the work.
Now, of course, you know, Julia, there's one very important thing that we're going to have to do.
Yes.
We need to come up with a name.
We do.
For this lovely blue 1954 Ford. We can't just keep calling it a Fordson Major. Get the Fordson Major started up, would you?
And baby girl just doesn't fit.
No. Bluebell. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it could work.
But you've got some ideas.
She's the workhorse, isn't she?
She's a workhorse.
I've always wanted a horse. Adopt the horse.
So yes.
Anyway.
The blue horse.
Just a bit fun.
Or whatever. If you've got some great names, bung them in the comments. We'd love to hear what you suggest. Keep them clean.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
If you've got a better idea that makes us laugh, then they might stick. We'll see.
Who knows? But so far, we've got it up on the land. You've seen us driving it about a bit. It has muddied up the land a bit, which is a bit of a worry. So we can't just drive it here, there and everywhere, otherwise we'll just have a quagmire.
She's had her inaugural tour around, so she knows the land now, and we've seen how it works on the land. But yeah, we're going to predominantly keep it to the main
Yes.
thoroughfare or
Now,
a main track.
We're very lucky because we've got a neighbour around here who heard about us getting a tractor, and he said, well, obviously you don't want to leave it on the land, so we're able, when we don't need to use it, is to keep it in his shed, which is very
lock
nice.
and key.
So we've got a key to that, and we can access it whenever we want, which is really handy.
And they're there all the time, so.
Yeah, so we didn't want to just leave it here. Anyway, we're going to go and have a cup of tea and celebrate. We need to get a bottle of champagne and...
We do.
No, not smash it on
No.
the table, no. Bottle of ginger beer and have a little drink.
Yeah, we'll just cheers.
Yeah.
That'll do.
It's all good fun. Get the old snippers out and away we go. So part of the job at the moment, whilst we still have reasonable length days now, which is rather grand, you know, it's very warm. It's a beautiful sunny day actually, and we're just at the beginning of the March as I film this bit. It's starting to encroach now into that area that we designated for the polytunnel. It's all brambles, and it's all about clipping and cutting it down and getting it low and mowing it if we can. It does take a bit of time, it's a few hours, and it's all handwork, and I don't mind that. It's one of those things you can just lose yourself whilst you're snipping away, and I love that. You don't have to think about anything, you can be in the moment. At the moment, I don't know whether you can hear it. Every now and again, there it was, a woodpecker somewhere over there. This is fantastic. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. We've been snipping, got to get the polytunnel made. We're going to do a much bigger version than our little potting polytunnel, which will be fantastic. Whether we get that up in the next few months, I don't know. Fingers crossed, there's so many little jobs to do. But it's all very exciting. But stopping and talking and filming is not going to help, so I better get back to it.
So, as per one of the comments from last week, yes, indeed, the birds have had our onion sets up a few times. The smaller white ones, not so much the red ones with the longer shoots. But someone has very kindly, we're very lucky, given us some old chicken wire, which we've used to secure part of it, and the land, the gift that just keeps giving. This lovely, I say lovely, is covered in mud, but less covered in mud than it was an hour ago. Richard managed to dig this up from the brambles over there. Lovely roll of mesh that we've pulled out of the land. We'll have to do for now until our large bit of fine grain, what do you call it?
Netting?
Fine netting arrives, and then I think it's bug grade or something like that, and then we'll put that over the whole thing. And I do keep calling this a growing patch, a growing fenced growing area, but that's not quite right, because this whole area is a growing area and growing patch. This bit with the fencing around is actually the veg patch. For one, yeah, that's more accurate. So I shall remember to call it the veg patch from now on.
The pond has done amazing work, hasn't it?
It has.
And you may not be able to see with the camera because there's insects in there, and they're very tiny to film with the lens I've got on the camera. But we've been sitting having lunch, some sandwiches. Very nice, thank you.
Thank you for the tea.
And we was observing little water boatmen,
Yep.
insect larvae,
Yep.
and various things. But you've come up with an idea. We need something in the pond to aerate it.
Yes, I think we need some duckweed and something like that.
Duckweed.
Maybe eventually we'll have some lilies and things.
Oh.
That would be special.
It'd be
but-
nice to have a few reeds and things. Because we want to extend the pond a bit and splay it out, as we've explained before. But perhaps this year, I mean there's so many other things, we'll just see if it holds water.
Yes.
But what it needs, I think, around the pond, apart from the grass, which is growing rapidly, a bit of colour.
Definitely.
So, what have we got in mind, Julia?
A standard box of meadow flowers.
So
Easy wildflowers.
So we've seen these. Now we know a chap who sows meadow flowers. He grows them, harvests them and puts a whole plant down. It's a brilliant way of doing it because it's really following nature. We haven't got access to that, so we're going to do...
Second best. Just
give it a whirl.
Yeah, it's good because there's a big variety of seeds in there.
So what type of things are there?
Annual red flax, field poppy, bishop's weed, linseed flax, black cumin, ox-eye daisy, borage, Patterson's curse, perennial blue flax, charlock, poppy, pot marigold, common mallow, sweet asylum.
Sweet asylum?
Sweet asylum.
I know, it's going to be put me.
Common yarrow, viper's bugloss, corn chamomile, wild chamomile, corn marigold,
My gosh.
corn cockle, cornflower, crown daisy, cultivated brassicas.
Now some of those I recognise, many of those I don't, but I don't, apart from the ox-eye daisies,
Yeah.
I don't know which ones I would actually recognise growing. So, what are we going to do with them?
We're going to scatter them over there.
What's to stop the birds just taking off the seeds?
I have no idea.
So we're going to sort of tread them in a bit, do you think?
Yeah.
Try and not so much bury them, but just try and make them less obvious?
Yeah. We might scatter a little bit of soil over the top, perhaps. But because we're hoping to put some around underneath the trees, so
Yeah.
the big mature oaks. So with that, I'm hoping just a little bit of water will just take them down underneath the leaf litter and protect them a bit. But
And if it doesn't work, it
Then it
doesn't
doesn't
matter,
work.
but we'll give it a go. Shall we get going?
Yes.
Right. Where are we going to start? Over there?
Over there.
Over there!
Over there. According to the packet, all you need to do is sprinkle them, gently press them in, and then lightly water them. So I'm going to gently press them in next. Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
That is my wildflower dance. Getting them into the ground. Fingers crossed. Oh, we are making progress. The sun is shining, it's rather lovely. Last few days the rain hasn't come down and so it's giving the ground a chance to dry out, which is something that we really need, and you can't really tell on here, but I have managed now to clip quite a swathe and a pathway down to another path that we had. This is the area, as I said before, is where the next polytunnel is. There's still a bit more to do over on that side to clear that, but it's very cathartic actually, coming up here with the bird song, the blue sky, looking at the blossom coming out, and just without a care in the world really, snipping away. It's got to be raked, and when we've managed to do that, there'll be all the stalks, and I'm hoping that once the ground is clear and dry, we'll get the tractor out from our neighbour and add an attachment which another friend of ours has got, a mower, and so that we can just mow this down, give it another rake, let that dry out and you know, be good. And then in the meantime, in our little wooded area, take a couple more of the spruce trees, slightly thinner ones than the massive thick ones, and then start to build the skeleton of a larger polytunnel, similar to the one we made before. We might as well make use of the wood that's here. The timber can always be replaced, and then at last some of the stuff that Julia's been doing, the planting and the pollinating, or whatever it was, propagating, the sowing, that's what it's called. It's in the back there with a needle and thread, and getting the eye of the plant. Anyway, you know what I mean. Then we'll be able to lay them all out here and get some of our salad stuff in, tomatoes, basil, various herbs, all sorts of wonderful things in this bit. It's going to be amazing. So anyway, meanwhile, some more snipping. So we've only had our lovely tractor horse, or the blue horse, 5 minutes, and really and truly, you know, now it's arrived at the land, we ought to be, having had a little play around, we ought to take it to our neighbour and put it in his shed, lock it up, so it's all secure. But there's still a bit of daylight, and it's not raining for a change, and even though the ground is a bit soft, we have some logs that actually are quite big to move by ourselves, so thought we might as well borrow a chain, which we have from our friend, chain up the logs and drag them up. And Julia has mastered the controls, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, confidence.
She's mastered the controls. So that's what we're going to do. Just for really, it's a bit of a test, and it's an excuse to, you know, we've got here before we put it away. So should we get on with it?
Yeah.
Right.
Let us.
I'll attach the chain. Well, as we come towards the end of the programme, the last day of filming for this episode has been soaking wet.
We're on a soggy, boggy Biggleswick farm today.
And we are a pair of drowned rats. After all that lovely sunshine that we've had
We got a bit complacent, didn't we?
Yeah, earlier in the week, but there you go. It is what it is. We are not fair weather farmers. Hello there.
Hello.
Hello there. So, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. I just want to round up, really. Firstly, I want to point out that what Julia is sitting on is a big metal box.
A very big, lovely locker box.
Locker box.
A locker box.
Which we've been very generously given by a lovely chap called Mark. Was Mark,
Matt.
wasn't it? Matt. Was it? No, it wasn't Matt.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yes,
Yeah.
Mark.
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 Sorry,
Is
Mark.
it Mark?
Yes, he's been watching us for a long time. And
You know who you are.
we get, so many lovely viewers out there, and so we hope we haven't got the names all wrong. But this is a lockable box. It's normally one of these van vaults that sits in the van. He also gave us an amazing amount of hand tools, from drills to secateurs to rakes to hoes.
All sorts of little knickknacks and gidging gadgets and
Spanner
stuff.
socket set for the tractor. So incredibly lucky. Thank you so much, Mark. Really appreciate that.
He was having a good clear out, and there was a bunch of stuff he didn't want and didn't want to get just chuck, and he knew we'd make good use of it.
And we will.
And on that note, I just wanted to take a moment to personally thank everyone who donates stuff. I mean, it blows our minds, doesn't it? And often, I'm so blown away and stunned, not silent, but I'll just say these things that seem flippant, but truly we are blown away by the generosity and so many lovely, wonderful people. There are a few who donate a few things, and there are even fewer who donate a lot of things. But each and every one of you, very, very grateful for. We are.
We are, absolutely.
And
people come out of the woodwork. It comes from the most unexpected source. So
when they're watching and they notice like-minded folk like us, and they want to help, and we're really appreciative. Thank you.
We want to thank our friend Ian, who came up today in the pouring rain with his chainsaw to help us take down some of the willow trees. I always get willow and hazel mixed up, don't know why. I know the difference. And we've been out there. We would have filmed, but my GoPro's a bit knackered. I think it's the batteries. I need more batteries, so we could have filmed in the wet weather. But sometimes when you're doing stuff, you haven't got time to film it because you're too busy doing stuff. Sorry, and every now and again I hear little noises, and I think there's rodents running around. We have a few of those.
Yeah, we have a little polytunnel issue with the rodents. We will secure it properly at some point.
We will. So anyway, we've been doing a bit of tree cutting, a bit of forestry work, as you might say.
Bit of securing the boundaries and
yes,
stuff like that.
So although the hazels have been cut down, it's actually to cut the willow. It's to encourage growth from the lower stumps. It's it's basically what they call. What do they call it?
I can't remember, but these are a hybrid willow, which are meant for this very reason.
What do they call it? When you've got the stool and it grows up.
Pollarding?
Coppicing.
Coppicing.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
well, yes. I suppose it's pollarding as well because
No. Coppicing is more accurate.
no, it's pollarding.
No, you were right.
No, you were right. It's a mixture of the two because the stools are not right down on the ground; they are halfway up, so it's kind of a mixture. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Somebody will tell us in the comments that
Yeah,
we're barking
both
up
wrong.
the wrong
we're
tree.
Both wrong. Whatever.
Whatever. So thank you, Ian, for that. That's been really helpful. So one of the good things about all of that is those trees had to come down. And we will have firewood for next winter or the winter after that. So I've got to chop them up and get them seasoned.
And some of them could be whips put in the ground to thicken up the boundary.
Absolutely. We want to thank Phil, our lovely Irishman who
The transporter.
transported the tractor on the back of his trailer. Oh, Julia had a pink, not a pink,
bright orange
thing, and she was doing the stop all ye faithful who are driving on this road, big busy main road.
slow down, hazard ahead type thing.
Why you had to do it on the M1 I don't know. You should have done it outside where we are. But anyway,
Well, at least I wasn't gluing myself to the road.
no, she wasn't gluing herself to the road saying no tractors, no farms. you've been doing something down on the other
I've been
boundary
working on the other boundary.
because we have a certain type of bigger rodent, animal.
We actually do have some deer passing through. I'm pretty sure they are just muntjac, but still we want to discourage that as much as possible and for them to find routes around.
Yeah.
So although what I've done isn't going to stop them from coming through or over if they so desire, but it's enough for them to see that there's change happening, change afoot, and they
Fingers
might
crossed.
need to readjust their habits.
These things will just jump, won't they? They can jump up to 5 foot. So at some point we will have to get an investment to put some proper deer fencing. But
I mean, we love deer, but our stuff is just so vulnerable to that.
And deer fencing is deer.
And muntjac are
a nuisance.
What's
Small thing.
Furry.
No. They've got long noses.
They got weird glands in their face.
They got weird glands in their face.
But that's not the point.
What was the point?
They're invasive.
Oh, they're invasive.
They were brought over from China.
Yes, a bit like budlet.
Along with pheasants.
Yes.
We like the pheasants.
We do like the
I don't
pheasants.
know why, but they're very pretty, aren't they? The males are very, very
And
handsome.
finally, we want to say thanks to Matt, who you mentioned earlier, for all his bits and pieces that he's been helping us with.
And his lovely lady Mary.
And his lovely lady Maria.
Maria.
Just so many things have been happening in the last couple of weeks as we've been trying to do things. Anyway, listen, we're coming to the end of today's programme. We will be back hopefully next week if the weather is good. If not, we'll do an update, or we'll be back a fortnight.
Yeah.
So,
we'll be with you as soon as we can caper.
Yes. In the meantime, we're going outside to get more wet because you can't get wet enough. So from the lovely Julia and the lovely me, see you next time.
Bye.